Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close. We get a green day. Believe it or not, we got ourselves a green day. I'm pretty stoked about it. Pretty stoked about it. And well, yesterday we were able to hit that bell dead on time. Can we do it again today? Can we be precise? Definitely want to try. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna keep my focus. I do want to address something though. The Nightbot. So I know every so often if you put emoticons in there, the Nightbot likes to give you a little warning. Well, apparently the Nightbot was doing more than that. I looked into it yesterday because there was a slight kerfuffle at the end of the stream, and I was like, "What's going on? I don't know." So I took a look at it, and yeah, that Nightbot, it had a little more power than I thought. So it had been given timeouts to folks for putting on emoticons. That 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 doesn't stand with me. So I've removed all functionality from the Nightbot. Now all it can do is it can drop up links. If you put like exclamation mark Wealthsimple, it'll give you the link for that. That's all it can do, and announcements. That's it. I've taken away all modership, all moderationship. There we go. All moderationship. So feel free to go crazy with the emotes, guys. You don't have anything to worry about now because of the good old Nightbot. All right. Another thing too, I wanted to sort of touch on too. The whole situation with moving an item from your non-registered into your TFSA. Now, somebody was telling me that Scotiabank lets them do it, and it doesn't sell it. It doesn't do anything. It just moves it over. Well, that's not entirely true. I did do a little bit of research, and this type of transfer, it's called in kind. That's the terms for it. So yeah, it looks seamless on the outside, but it's not. It still triggers a taxable event. So it is deemed a disposition. So if you are up when this happens, when you move it over, if you're up compared to your adjusted cost base, you will have to pay 50% of that capital gains. So you're not getting a free lunch, unfortunately. It sounded good. But I double checked. I thought, when I said right away, I thought it was a taxable event. And you know what? I was pretty sure I was right. But at the same time, I always love double checking things because sometimes the government pulls a fast one. And not this time. This time, we're all fine. We're all fine. All right, wow, that green is really, it's making everything green. I love it. All right. Let's pull up and, oh, all right. It's gone. All right. Guys, I had shared the screen just before we came on. It should be there, but it's doing its thing. There we go. All right, that should do it. And let's add it. Whoops, there we go. We'll add it here to the screen. We're all good. Whew. Oh, that's Bitcoin. We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's actually go, though, to the TSX. All right, TSX, we are having a green day. It's not a strong green day. We're up 0.29%. So it's really nothing to write home about. But nonetheless, we do have a green day. Overall, in December, we are still fairly well into the red. We're quite a ways below that blue line. If you don't know what the blue line is, that's the dividing point between a red month and a green month. It's where we left in November. So the end of November, that's where that blue line starts. That's where we left. So we are in a red month, a red December so far. This month is actually so far going kind of as expected, but we'll have to see. I'm looking for, of course, some green at the very end of the month to get us above that blue line if we get ourselves a Santa Claus rally. The S&P 500, pretty flat. So it is in the red, but not by much. We're talking it's down 0.02%. there's still a good 10 minutes left of the day, so it could very well get it back up. And you know what? I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say that it will get just a slight bit above before the end of the day. We'll look back. We'll look back a little bit later. The Nasdaq having a little bit of a better day, up 0.14%. Dow Jones, those industrial stocks, a little bit on the low side, negative 0.29 on the day. The Russell having a better day. Boy, that looks that it's hard to tell, but actually the blue line is way down there for the Russell. The Russell is having a pretty good day. Let's see here. What's going on with commodity? Gold up a little bit, up 0.52. Silver having a fantastic day. Look at this. Silver is up 4.43%. And say it isn't so. Copper, what are you doing to me? Copper is down today 1.68%, as well as WTI down 0.41. And Bitcoin, Ethereum looking good today, both in the positive. All right, let's jump over to our heat map. That's Celestica, who still looking pretty good today. Here is our heat map, and I'm just going to give it a quick refresh just to make sure. There we go. Just to make sure we're on the current data. Apparently, I can upgrade for $1. What? Anytime someone gives you an offer to upgrade for $1, there's strings attached, folks. There's always strings attached. As you can see, half of our market looks pretty red. The other half, not so bad, not so bad. The banks are all up a little bit. Not all of them, but most of them. Royal Bank is actually down 0.02, but TD's up 1%, National Bank's up 0.5%, BMO pretty flat, CIBC up almost 0.5%, Bank of Nova Scotia up 0.5%. That seems to be the most common in the banks today, 0.5% for sure. Both railroads are down. CP is down a little bit more than CNR. And of course, most of our energy stocks, with oil being down, of course, we've got a little bit of downness in the energy as well. Now, over in gold, oh, look at this. London gold is down a 1.97 today. As you know, I do love London gold. I'm not sure why they're down. I have not had a chance to look to see what's going on with London gold. No, we'll figure that out. Well, actually, we'll figure that out soon enough. After the bell, we'll take a look at that after the bell. All right, looking at the U.S. stocks, once again, not a bad day for tech. I mean, NVIDIA is down about 0.36, but Google is up almost 1%. Microsoft up a tiny, tiny bit. Tesla having a pretty good day, up 1.82%. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Well, there's a few. JP Morgan is down about 5%. So yeah, there's definitely some red in there as well. But heading on over to crypto, and yeah, we got a nice old green day here. Bitcoin is up 2.48. Ethereum up 6%. That's not too shabby. And of course, guys, it's tradition to pick on it's tradition to pick on an altcoin. It's a green day. We'll pick on a red coin. I'll just pick let's get in here nice and deep. We'll pick on some red coin. Hopefully I've never heard it before. Let's go with this one. What is this one? This is the Gary network. I don't have a clue what the Gary network is all about. I don't know if it's a game. I don't know if it's a person. I don't know any Garys who spell it with an I, but hey, why not? Yeah, this is worth about 0.1 of a penny. No idea what it does. I personally will never invest in one of these altcoins because, guys, they call them crap coins for a reason. It's very much like going to the casino playing a game of craps. You throw that dice, and guess what? It's not in your favor. The house tends to always win. Same idea with these. Be careful. I'm not saying you can't make any money on some of these altcoins, but you really want to do your research. Read the white paper, understand what the coin is doing, and believe in what the coin is doing. Now, if you do want to make money on crypto, though, stick to the big tried and true coins. Things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and gosh darn it, even the Dogecoin is a much better option. All right. Time to go big screen and time to hit the chat. Oh boy, you guys have been busy. All right. Paul in first with a good afternoon. Hello, Paul. Good to see you. Claude says, hello. Let's hope London Gold doesn't drop too much. I'm hoping that too. I'm hoping that too. But you know what? Corrections are normal. I'm not super worried. I do like London Gold as a company. So we'll take a look and see if there's any news. Maybe there's a news related cause for London Gold. Rory says, I hit the like button so Mary doesn't come after me. All right. I think you're safe. I think you're safe. Stan says, hello, all. And Joe is in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. And we've got Scratch with a good green afternoon. Isaiah's in with a good day, folks. And Scott's in, Scott Evil. Um, I always think that there's like another Scott, like there's a good Scott, a Scott good as well. Anyway, a Green Day, that's not Doki. Sorry, I'll show myself out. Oh no. Oh boy. Let's see. Michelle says, good afternoon, peeps. Yep, peeps. There we go. Nightbot's terror days are over. Yeah, the Nightbot. I had no clue that it was timing people out. No clue at all. So if you've been timed out by the Nightbot, and I think Paul actually got timed out by the Nightbot once yesterday. My apologies. I did not know it was doing that. Did not know it was doing that. And for me, that's unacceptable. If you're gonna do something bad enough to get a timeout, I want it to come from me or from a mod. And we only got one mod, JJ, and he's not even here most of the time. So you should be pretty safe. All right. And Isaiah using the emoticons. Awesome. Curious QQ me. Hello, everyone. And here is Paul testing to make sure that the Nightbot fix is working. Love it. Love it. Just keep them coming. Keep them coming, guys. Spam all of the emoticons you want. I am okay with it. Rory says Paul's happy. Yeah. I'm really glad that you can really come in with those emoticons now. Mary is, of course, in the house. Mary's our official captain of the like button, guys. So that means it's time. It's time to hit the like button. And I got to take this cover off of my coffee here because Jill made it a little early for me, and the cover keeps it warm. Anyway, guys, hit that like button, turn it blue. It helps the algorithm push it out to everybody, and it's how we get some new blood in here. And I'm gonna have some coffee while you guys do that. Ooh, very interesting flavor. It's eggnog. It's eggnog coffee now. Very good. All right, Paul. In-kind RRSP to RRSP at different broker doesn't trigger anything. Oh yeah, no, if you're going from RRSP to RRSP, that should be fine. Because it's still both yours. So you're fine in that one case. That wouldn't be a taxable event. It's just when you're going from non-registered to registered, or if you did an in-kind transfer out of an RRSP into a TFSA, 100% taxable event. You would get hit for the entire thing. All right, now I'm just going to jump ahead here a little bit. I see something on the horizon here, and we got a super sticker coming in from Samantha. Thank you very, very much. And that around here, that makes you a goat. That makes you the greatest of all time. So we got a goat in the corral. I'm loving it. Maybe somebody will join you in the corral. Otherwise, you got lots of space. All yours. All yours for sure. All right, now let's get back to where I was. Northern Gal. Hello, all. Transfers are just an easy way if you have the function, always tax considerations. Yep. And that's exactly what I thought. And, I didn't realize that, you had well, brokers like, for example, iTrade over at Scotiabank, I didn't realize they were sort of doing it in this seamless move to make it appear like you're not getting hit by the taxes. But like I mentioned before, check your tax slips at the end of the year, and you will you'll learn different. You will learn different for sure. Cowboy says thanks for the info on non-registered at TFSA. Oh, no problem. Northern Gal says because you are keeping it in an RRSP, not transferring in from a non-reg to a regular account. Yeah, exactly. Tax loss selling in the US too? Yes, of course. Pretty much, unless you have a completely different tax system, but if you have your typical year-end taxes, and I think everybody follows the same system as far as I know. I can't definitively say every country does, only because I don't know every country. I know the United States. I know Canada. So at least for us, yes. I think Great Britain, I think, and most of Europe probably follows the same. But there could be some exceptions out there that I'm unaware of. But yeah, for the U.S., you bet. Cowboy, will the taxman be taking gains on dividends too in a non-registered sale? I'm not 100% sure what you're asking. Let me see here. So, all right. Will they take, well, yes. I mean, obviously, whatever taxes are due on those dividends, while it is non-registered, those would absolutely, the taxman would be taking it. So whether it be foreign income or if you've got capital gains within that distribution. So with a covered call ETF, for example, you might have capital gains. So they get that tax. If there's return on capital in there, they won't take that, but they'll get that later down the road when you sell. But now, let's just sort of step back. Oh, guys, I'm 3 minutes late. It's the tax man's fault. You guys distracted. No, not you guys. I'm blaming me. I got distracted again. At least it wasn't 10 minutes this time. There goes my perfect week. There goes the perfect week. We got one day. Oh boy. Well, maybe I'm gonna get it on. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. All right. Back to this question here. So yeah, all of the taxes. Now, once it is transferred over, then any dividends coming while it is in the your TFSA, those would not be taxable. However, and here's where it gets a little interesting, if you transfer it after the ex-dividend date, and those dividends, they could potentially still come back, not into where you moved it, because, well, one, it's even though it's you going back, even though you sold and rebought in that process, here's the thing. The stocks that you sold have somebody else's name on them now. The stocks that you have in your TFSA that you bought, they have your name on them, but they're not technically the same stocks that you sold. If you go back to paper trading, think of it this way, it would be completely different paper, but representing the same company. So any dividends that would have been generated, if you pass the ex-dividend day, any dividends that came in after that fact are going to come in on the old. So on your non-registered account. So you will get hit with any kind of taxes on that, if that makes sense. Whew, I almost should have pulled out the whiteboard for that one. Hippo, am I late again? Not by much, just a little tiny bit, but it's not bad. Cowboy, natural gas consumption will be up here soon as we're getting into a deep freeze. Yes, well, we're in a deep freeze here today. Although we're getting a slight break from the frigid cold. I know this morning, I think it was minus 26. The wind chill, minus 26 this morning. Now it's going to warm up a little bit, and we're going to get about 15 centimeters of snow tomorrow. So We're trading cold for snow. I don't know if it's a great deal, but oh well. Rory says, right now, HND is on the rise at the moment. I sold too soon. That's always the way it is, though, right? It's like you sell it and it keeps going up. But you know what? If you got a profit, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. All right. Elaine says, hey, overall green last time I checked, even if it's white out. Yeah, I think it might already be snowing a tiny bit. Not much, but a wee bit. Samantha says, I finally caught a live stream. Well, welcome to the live stream. Here it goes. Bell. We should get a few of these. Yep, Bell. Let's see. Hi, all. Time to relax. Going to call you Alice. Always in a rabbit hole. Nice. You lose. I did. Miss the bell. Can we beat 8 minutes? MSTE going to the moon. You know, well, Bitcoin had a pretty good day. Here, let's actually take a look at two things. First of all, let's start with Bitcoin. We had some pretty good green candles on Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin at? Well, there, right under here. There we go. So yeah, take a look here. This nice pump. This has been a nice pump that we had today. Bitcoin, absolutely. Now we've retraced a little bit, but yeah. So obviously this is good for strategy, and this should be good for MSTE. I don't think I have MSTE on this one. Let's pull it up on this one here. Here we go. Yeah. Let's go. And here we go. Let's take a look. So as you can see, yeah, it's kind of one of these ones that it's a little harder to read, but you can see they did get a little bit of a bump up. So right now, MSTE is actually up today 3.78%. Not too shabby. I know I'm rough on MSTE sometimes. And I know, well, it's one of these things. Like I love the whole idea of the single stock. So I love that harvest line. But it is risky when you're looking at a covered call ETF on a single stock. There's extra risk. Now, one of the good things about those lines is that most of the companies are very, very blue chip, big moats, things like Microsoft, Apple. You're pretty much safe on ones like those. However, if something were to happen, so if Microsoft were to have a giant scandal that came out of nowhere, you're going to feel it on that, on that harvest single stock. You will feel it. And that's what has happened to Strategy. Strategy, they, with Bitcoin falling, that hurt them big time. MicroStrategy, or Strategy now, they hold a lot of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, like a lot. And in fact, that's what Michael Saylor does. He takes out loans to get more Bitcoin, and he just keeps on adding more and more because he believes in Bitcoin that much. One of the things that they do as well with Strategy is they will dilute the shares to basically to generate more money to buy more Bitcoin. Now, if MicroStrategy is right, and so far he has been, he has been right. Strategy will have its day. It will have its rise up from the ashes, like the phoenix. It will, but here's the thing. It's still risky because there's always the chance. What if he's wrong? What if his play doesn't work? Now, I think he's right, but he could be wrong. I want to make sure that that's clear to everybody. So, don't go running into MSTE right now thinking that, okay, I'm going to make a fortune with this. You might, but, it's still risky. I'll call it that. I'll call it risky. A lot of people who really, really, really promoted it right now they're eating a bit of crow. or they're or they're making some videos about losing $100,000. That's, you know, it's just something that I would rather, of course, go with the many. So with HHIS, it holds all of those single stocks. And that way there you get that isolation. So if MSTE does what MSTE did, the others are going to sort of buffer it out, and you're going to be fine in something like HHIS. So that's what I like. I like it. Now, I will play some of the others if I want to do some kind of a funky little swing trade or something. But for long-term investing, HHIS is the safer bet up over any kind of single stock ETF. You just got a single stock covered call with leverage ETF. Let's just throw it all on the table. All right. Claude says it was 10 minutes. Oh, you missed the bell. Oh, yes. Always the tax man. He's there. He is there. Nope. Closed. Oh, did they? Ah. I was hoping they could make a little comeback, but let's see here. Yeah, look at that, just negative 0.09. And I think this still has about 3 minutes of data to come in, because this is the free version, so it is delayed by 15 minutes. It's not delayed over here, though. So it's actually, yeah, if I come over here, I can sort of see, yeah, it's still in that red. Yeah, I missed that one. I missed it. Oh, well, it was worth a try. MSTE could be a small swing play. It could be. It could be, yeah. But it really depends on what Bitcoin is going to do. Like, one of the things when we're looking at Bitcoin here, and let's go back to Bitcoin for a moment. So right now, I mean, it made it back up to pretty close. Actually, no, it did. It made it to almost 95, almost 95. And 95 might be a little bit of a psychological level. 100 definitely is. And I know Larry has been expecting Bitcoin to go back up, hit 100, and then have another big romp on the downside. I think in this case here, 95, there was definitely some profit taking. That's why we came down a little bit. Let's see what Bitcoin does tomorrow. Because remember, guys, we can have, with Bitcoin, the way the volatility can work, you can have one really good day and then the rest can be crap. We'll see if we can sort of maybe put some more green candles up tomorrow and see what happens. So, and we'll be here. We'll be here for that as well. Roku says time to shovel. I like shoveling. I'm serious. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't mind shoveling. I'll actually say that, though. I would say snow is not my favorite thing to shovel. I'd rather shovel earth or something than snow. And even then, it does have a limit, of course. Scott says, bring the cold and buy the CNQ dip. CNQ. Rory says, Torlamine may get some love down the road. And I'm, like I said, Torlamine, I do love Torlamine. They are a company that when oil does well and the profits are flowing, they tend to share them with the shareholders. And that's always a good trait to have. Okay, let's see. Michael Saylor announced the purchase of more Bitcoin yesterday. Probably helped the MSTE. Yeah, and he's going to always be, I mean, quite literally. Michael Saylor announcing that they're buying more Bitcoin is very normal, a very normal event. Somebody over at MicroStrategy or at Strategy might go, "Oh, Michael announced more Bitcoin. Oh, it must be Tuesday." It's kind of like that. Isaiah, would now be a good time to start legging into MSTE? Is it the best time? Maybe not. Is it a good time? I think it is. But like I said, be careful. Don't enter into MSTE and think it's going to be just a quick little ride up to the top. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Whatever happens, it'll be bumpy. Lots of volatility. not a company. If you're going to diamond hand it, you're going to have to get used to some white knuckle moments because you're going to get them for sure. All right. Oh, speaking of Larry, here we go. Another Bayer jump. It got upgraded again. Nice. Cowboy says, Torlamine is too much for my taste and up and down can make a guy seasick. Fair enough. Fair enough. Larry says, buy the 2X for MST for like 150. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. You should sell everything and put it on black to double profit. I I've never I've actually never done that at a casino. I've been to casinos before, and quite literally, if I go to a casino, like if for a social occasion or something, I'll maybe bring $100 worth of quarters or whatever, or of change, and that's it. That's it. I'll play it, but it's like win or lose. And normally, what I will also do is like if I went into the casino and let's say I got really lucky right away, and let's say I was up $200, well, I'd take my 100 right away, and that's being taken out, put back away, so that I'm just playing with profits. And even then, I'll probably get a little stingy. I'll probably take more than 100 to be honest. Um, RBL is really good right now. Should buy. Um, RBL. Let me take a look at this. I am not. I probably am familiar, but oh, all right. Page is blanked out. Love it when it does that. Let's go and just reload the page. Here we go. RBL. Here we go. RBL. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. It's some kind of a Russia ETF. Okay. Like I said, I've never heard of it before, but yeah, it's I don't know. See, I don't know exactly which one of these it is. But yeah, it looks like it's a Russian ETF. I don't know if I would be buying that personally. But I do like international diversification. I'll leave it at that. Wahipple. I don't like snow. The snow shoveler for the townhouse complex, and the local by law says it should be done before 11 a.m. So I got to get up at 5 a.m. and start shoveling so I can get to work on time. Yikes. Yeah. Yeah, I know. When I lived in Halifax, there was I think there was a bylaw as well. We had to shovel like roughly half a block in front of the house. And I always did it, and the neighbors never did. And I would always be like, ah. But what can I do? Kelly. The FOMO on MSTE is bad, but I'm sticking to the plan. I should have some exposure through HHIS though, right? Correct. You do have exposure through HHIS, and that's the thing. So let's if you are interested in MSTE, HHIS, you'll get exposure, you'll get that diversification, you'll get some protection. If you want to throw a tiny bit at MSTE because you're thinking, oh boy, it has to come up eventually, and it probably will, have a clear plan. Don't give in to any kind of emotions. Have a clear plan. Like, let's say you're saying, okay, well, I got $1,000 I want to play with on MSTE. That's what I'll put in. This is, I'll buy it at this point, and know what your exit point is. So let's say, for example, let's say Bitcoin decides to go into a crypto winter and it falls down to somewhere between 50 and 60,000. That's a possible thing that could happen. I don't think we're ready for it yet, but it could. Now, if it did that, obviously strategy is going to go down even further, which means MSTE will go down further. Are you going to, if you're putting $1,000 in now, are you going to be that person who's like, oh my God, I've lost a big chunk of money, I just got to get out? So that's the one thing that you don't want to have in your plan. So if if you have an acceptable loss and you're like, you know what, if it goes down 5%, I'm bailing. That's just the way it is. Fine. That's your plan. Follow that plan. However, if you are looking on a more long-term thing and you're saying, okay, I'm going to put this $1,000 in. I'm okay. I'm going to see where this goes within a couple of years. See where this goes, perhaps when Bitcoin moves into its next big cycle. That's a fantastic thing to do. Sure. You may be very, very happy at that point. So, just have a plan. That's the one thing I can say, because this is a ETF. This is, and even if you just look at strategy alone, it is a company that, it can generate a lot of emotion because of that volatility. So a plan is really, really good. Is there a stock or coin called FOMO? If there isn't, there should be. I really don't know. Let's find out. FOMO. Sure. Let's see here. FOMO. Yes. It's called Formation Metals. Formation Metals. Yeah, so it's a penny stock. It's like worth 27 cents. But Formation Metals. Now, the Bitcoin crypto is another story. Let me open up another window here and let's take a look, because I really feel like that would be something that somebody would make a meme coin of. I really, really think they would. So let's go over here to CoinGecko and let's put it in and see what we get. FOMO. There we go. Yes, there's a lot of different FOMOs. There's this one here, FOMO, fear of missing out. Now, it doesn't have any data over here, so it's probably, but here's one here, FOMO. Let's go to this one. This one's actually up 8.24%. All right, let's see. So yeah, here is one here. It's just called FOMO. I don't know what it does. I do not know what it does. Yeah, so this one here, apparently you can get it through Uniswap. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly through Uniswap. So yeah, this is something you'd want to look at but there is a crypto coin called FOMO. All right. And Scott saying RBL Russian ruble. So yeah, I mean, and the stock was Russian, was more of a Russian ETF. So RBL, that does make sense. So maybe you were asking, or not you, but maybe the other person was asking about the rubles. I don't do a lot of Forex trading. I like to sort of keep things. The problem I find with currency trading is that there's just so much out of your control. There's just so many variables that can impact a price. Anything from Donald Trump throwing an extra tariff at you, or anything of that nature. So there's so many. To me, there's just so many variables. For that reason, I tend to stay out of Forex for the most part. Not to say I'll never touch it. I just don't like to. I don't like to. Let's see. Cowboy says my HBTE is easier to look at today. Nice. Yes. Tom says nice pump on Tesla today. It was, absolutely. Interestingly enough, I got a swing trade on Tesla going right now. I threw in a stop loss. It got hit. It got hit just before the stream. It came, Tesla came down just a wee bit, hit my stop loss, enough to sell it, but it's a profit nonetheless. So what can I say? Ian says, just got here. Hi, everyone. Well, hello, Ian. How are you? Let's see. Chronic says, why S Day is going down? C Day and Q Day seem to be better. So yeah, well, S Day, of course, that's your US stocks, and we are having just a little bit of a red day on, it's interesting when here, let me show you. Let me show you here. So, and I don't know everything that S Day is holding off the top of my head, but this kind of gives you a general idea. So Q Day is mostly NASDAQ, which was in the green. C Day is Canadian, which is in the green. S Day is a lot of U.S., a lot of S&P 500 type companies. So it was a little bit in the red. That would be the reason I would expect. I would expect because those stocks were just doing a little bit worse today. Now, I will say one thing, guys. The TSX is having a really good 2025. So it's rare that the TSX is beating the S&P 500. But this year, the TSX is kicking the butt. We're kicking the US's butt. So that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. And ironically, a lot of it is because of Trump. Not saying that the U.S. is doing bad. It's just that a lot of the uncertainty he's put into the market has pushed a lot of people into gold. And that has really helped inflate the Canadian market. So that's the reason. But it's still nice to see. All right. Scott says even the banks have specialized Forex traders. Yeah, absolutely. Ian says, wow, you are almost caught up. Slow chat day. It might be. Well, keep in mind, too, this is like because we're doing the Financial Express this month. And we normally don't have a market close on Tuesday. So, there's probably some people who normally like or love the market close, just not showing up. They're like, oh, I didn't realize there was one today. But yeah, so we have one today, we have one tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to open it up. So that way if we want to add a Thursday, we'll open it up for that. And if we want to add a Friday, we'll open that up on Thursday. So you guys could potentially have me doing a market close every day this month. So let's keep at it. Let's keep at it for sure. Ian says, Scotiabank closed over $100. I remember when it was 50 something in October. Yeah, well, let's take a look. The banks have been doing really, really good. BNS had a pretty good run this year. So here we go. Closing over 100. Yeah, $100.04 right here. So I love it. It's fantastic. So yeah, they have closed pretty high. Even though it shows 99.96 here, they're above it. They just haven't updated their chart yet. But we look at this 1 year. And you can sort of see, well, actually, it's interesting. You don't fully appreciate it on the year, but when we were coming into this year, the banks were still on a slide. Like the banks had quite the slide coming into this year. And we can actually back out to see that a little better. If we go to the 3-year, you can sort of see this is kind of that slide they had. And this here, a lot of this was, basically, we had aggressive rate hikes. We had a lot of uncertainty with loan loss provisioning and the pandemic mortgage renewals. That was really impacting on the banks, at least at this portion here. But since that point, and let's get back out of here. Look at this. Since their lows, 63 right up to 100. So that's really, really good. And this is something I like too about here is that a lot of the liquidity that the banks have been receiving, a lot of the cash flow, the improved cash flow, it's because they put away more money than they needed for loan loss provisioning, which is actually surprising, to be honest. It's just that it didn't get as bad as the banks had thought, as the regulators had thought, because, obviously the regulators kind of guide how much of the banks put away, because, it's kind of the way that the whole financial system works. But it's been good, and that has worked out well for investors, for sure. All right. Do you think there's more room to grow in Ferran? Yes, I do. And let me just, let's spell it right. Here we go. So FTG, so Ferran Technology Group. Let's pull it up here. So I am holding this in the 0 to 100K challenge. So and I do like it. It is a tech company. Now, here's the interesting. Let's just pull it up here for a bit. So yeah, so this one here, they're into aerospace and defense. That is really, really big, and we're starting to see some money flow into that direction already from the government. So as you know, MDA Space had a big movement just recently. This is going to be good for companies like MDA Space, FTG. I think they're going to be fine. Now, just another interesting thing, and I don't know if this is a publicly traded company or not. Let me see here. Cohere. No, it's not. But there is a Canadian AI startup company called Cohere, and they are going to be getting money from Microsoft because Microsoft is funding just over 7 billion Canadian into the Canadian AI infrastructure. So Microsoft wants more data centers in Canada and more just overall infrastructure. That's a really good thing. So Microsoft has been piling money into Canada. And they're not the only ones. And we've talked about this before. Alberta is definitely getting some pretty good data centers. I think Quebec as well. And it makes sense. It makes sense because, a cooler environment up here, especially in the winter, that can go a long way towards saving on everything from the amount of water that's used to cool down microchips in my, data centers. So yeah, I think it's going to be really, really good. All right. Oh my gosh, that is so good. All right, let's see. Cowboy says, in today's video, I don't own top or bottom, but I do have the 5 in the middle. Yeah, so today's video, if you haven't checked it out yet, guys, it was kind of a neat little opportunity because I was thinking about it. I was thinking about Blossom, and I was like, all right, Blossom, that keeps, it keeps track of the stocks that Blossom users are buying. And I was like, well, what are the top? I went with the top 7. I went with the top 7 because, what are the top 7 ETFs that are being bought and are they the best? So that's kind of what we do in this video. We look at the top 7 bought and then we reorganize them. We reorganize them by total return to say, okay, which of these are winners? Which are losers? And it was quite interesting. I actually really, I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Amrit says, finally got out of EQ Bank and invested in 60. I added another 60 today as well over in Wealthsimple because, so Wealthsimple right now, because I do everything over in National Bank, Wealthsimple is like every time you guys use that affiliate code, you get 25 bucks. I get 25 bucks. I should drop it in here. I'll drop it in here just in case any of you have not yet signed up over there. So yeah, you guys get $25. I get $25. And 60 is just a little over $25. So the last 2 referrals that have come in, I've just turned them into 60s. I've turned them into 60s. So I got another 60 because actually on the show yesterday, somebody used the referral because I happened to have, today I don't have my email up on the side, but I had my email up on the side and it popped up while I was talking about it on the show. So I was just like, oh, okay, there we go. There is another 60. So we'll have to see. So what I'm going to do is I'll just, every time I get a referral come in on Wealthsimple, I'll just throw it into 60 and we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Ian says, let's see, I sold a bunch of Scotiabank to buy Bank a year ago. I think with divs, it's performed similar. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Bank is, Bank's had a good year. It's had a really good year for sure. Yeah, Rory says Bank is up a bit. Bank is basically at all-time highs. Yeah, and I guess, well, guys, here, let's pull up Bank. Here we go. Whoa, that's not Bank. That's Bank. B-A-N-K. There we go. Oh, let's see if it types this time. There we go. All right. Good old Bank. And we'll pull up the 1 year. And you can sort of see. If guys remember when we were looking at Scotiabank, we had that little bit of a slide and then everything turned around. Same idea here with Bank. So yeah, Bank 954. Let's go out and take a look here. So yeah, that is all-time highs. Ignore all of this stuff back here. I believe at one point they reorganized. So I'll have to take a look and see. But I remember something about there was some kind of a reorganization. But yeah, this here pretty much, yeah, It's been quite the ride. It's been quite the ride for sure. And coming back here to that 1 year, bank has been doing fantastic, and you got to have decent income coming at the same time. So anytime you can give me growth like this and income, I'm very happy. I'm very happy camper for sure. Good afternoon, Brian. And Brian says, good afternoon, everyone. Can you start over again? I just got here. Stainless steel project I'm working on. It's not cooperating. I'll continue it tomorrow. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Good day, everybody. Welcome to this week. Oh, boy. No, it's not this week. Welcome to the market. Brian, you threw me off. All right. I tried. It didn't work. I screwed it up. I'm sorry. We'll just go back to Isaiah. For the growth, diversity, and something non-covered call, I have VEQT. Now, right? And that's an all equity. It's like XEQT, except for it's Vanguard. I believe it's also a semi-annual dividend. So you're not getting quarterly dividends like you get with XEQT. So let's see. What would you recommend for an all markets country markets ETF? All right. Well, VEQT is actually not a bad one. You're already getting exposure, worldwide exposure, but there's a few of them. So you've got VEQT. There's also XEQT, which is the iShares one. It's fantastic. I like them both. Now, if you want to get a little bit of extra crypto exposure in there as well, Fidelity, so FEQT, will give you a little bit of exposure to Bitcoin, not like a crazy amount or anything like that. But I think they're all pretty interchangeable for the most part. I always say this way, like, you know what? If dividends are important to you and you want them more regularly, XEQT. If you don't care about it and you're just sort of setting and forgetting it, VEQT is pretty good too. They all pretty much have similar fees, if I remember correctly. Now there is also a cover call version as well, but normally people who are going in for this, they're not always looking for the income. They're usually looking for that, sort of that diversification and that growth as well. Cowboy, doing the great debate on bank or Biggie with this dividend batch. Yeah, absolutely. And I will mention, guys, if you watched the video today, so Biggie happened to be one of the most popular ETFs on Blossom. And the numbers don't reflect Biggie very well. And I'll show you why. I'll show you why, guys. Let me just pull this in. So Biggie didn't have impressive numbers, but it's for one reason. One reason only. They don't have a big history. So right away, they came in just as, they were doing fine. And then we had a little bit of a market contraction. So, this, of course, knocks your numbers down a little bit. But more than just that, the other big issue when it came to Biggie is, well, look at this. We've only had a small handful of dividends. So the dividend really, truly wasn't big enough to make a big difference when it came to that. And I mentioned it in the video, take Biggie's data with a grain of salt, because it's actually interesting. Biggie was one that did surprise me, because where it was so new, I was not expecting it to make it into the most popular of 2025. So I was a little surprised. Definitely a little surprised. All right. Brian says 37. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. I did it again. All right. Here's what we're looking at, guys, once again. All right. I'm just going to backtrack on this one. Oh, boy. I can't believe I did it again. All right. So with Biggie, once again, here we are. They have very little. This is the 6-month chart. So you can see they've got just under 3 months of time. They came in, everything was fine, but then we had a little bit of recent, the market came down a little bit recently, of course, well, November, definitely interesting. And that's why they're down a little bit, especially here. This here is the December part. So they're down. it makes them look a little bit worse than they actually are. So, and I put that in the video. And the other part that I mentioned as well was the dividend part. And once again, I'll just quickly show you the dividends because, hey, here we are. Just a handful of dividends so far. So take the biggie with a grain of salt. They're doing a lot better than they appear to be doing. Although they did beat MSTE. So what can I say? Whoops, I'm saying too much. If you haven't seen the video yet, you'll know what we're talking about when you watch it. All right. Brian says 37 likes, 69 watching. Uh-oh. Guys, where are the likes? I'm just gonna refresh and see if we're still at 37. Oh boy. No, we're at 38. All right. Brian, you convinced one person to hit the button, so congrats. Dollarama earnings out Thursday morning. Might be a chance to ride a bump up. Might be. Dollarama. So Dollarama's had a pretty good quarter. I mean, let's go over here. Dollarama. Now they've come back down a little bit. I love that they were above 200, but when you look at, we're going to go to the 6 months. So, here's the funny thing. So when you look at it, actually they didn't do quite as well in that period, but I still think they'll be fine. I still think they're a strong company. They have a good moat. And when you start to back out and look at the bigger picture, you can see they have been on the move. They have been on the move. Other than this is the one unfortunate part. This part in here is going to be where that quarter is located. So I will say this, I wouldn't make a big play. I wouldn't make a big play if you're looking to make a play, or I'm not going to swing them. I won't swing them on this because this little area, even though I love the company, they've had a fantastic year. That's their year. This one set of earnings may not be super stellar. They might meet expectations, but I don't know if they're going to exceed. So I wouldn't I wouldn't play them. What I would do though is if they don't meet expectations on Thursday and they fall, that might be playable. That might be playable if that price falls a little bit on Thursday. So I'll definitely watch for sure. Rory says, now why would go and upset Mary like that, Brian? Oh, Mary loves the help. Mary loves the help. Scott says, sold 70,000 of Scotiabank back in the middle of that downslope and put into S&P and NASDAQ, so I can't complain. Okay, fair enough. Claude says, for ETF's price movement, what happens if all stocks in a regular ETF, not covered call, go up, but buyers all sell low? That ETF price would not go in the same direction, so not reflect underlying stocks. That would be an unusual situation. So yeah, typically if everything in the basket goes up, typically that ETF is going to go up. However, you're right. If everybody holding that ETF wanted to sell, that does, of course, drive that price back down. So yeah, you could have a situation where normally, though, what would happen normally is that price would go up and then they would start selling. But if they started selling before the price even went up and there was a big push to the downside because of all of the selling pressure, it could nullify it. Sure, it could happen. It's rare. I can't even think of an example of one that I can remember happening, but it can happen for sure. All right. Amazon closing everything in Quebec. How will this affect the next job numbers? It's a good question. I don't know how many employees that they have in Quebec, but I can't answer that without knowing how many employees they have in Quebec. But yeah, that'll definitely impact some of the job numbers. It might knock unemployment back up a tiny bit. Not a lot, though. Not a lot. I would say, if anything, maybe a point. But yeah. Brian says, I bought a little QQQI today with my US dividends. Okay, nice. pipeline vote is tonight. We all know what happens there. That's right. So Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives have put through a pipeline bill. It's a private members bill. I'm pretty sure. I think it's I don't know if I think it's a private members, but right now the Liberals said they were going to vote against it, and the reason they were going to vote against it is that this bill, it sort of did not address all of the things that the Liberals wanted addressed in that pipeline, sort of in that deal that was signed with Danielle. So for one, it kind of ignores BC. It also kind of ignores the Indigenous folk. And now, that was in its original form. Now, I did read earlier today, and I didn't actually get a chance to read the article, but Pierre said that they would change it a little bit. So I don't know if it is to address some of those concerns. So let's see what happens if he puts in the right pieces. Maybe it will call out the Liberals. Maybe they may not have a choice. They might have to vote for it, depending on what he does. I do not know what changes he was going to make, though. So I want to be clear on that. So I don't know from that perspective, but it could be interesting. All right. Ian says my average price on ENCL is $18.63. I might sell Utes at a loss in my non-registered and buy ENCL in my TFSA. Or might sell ENCL tomorrow, wait 33 days and buy it back in my TFSA, down almost 6% on Utes. Okay, fair enough. Now, is that, when you're saying you're down almost 6% on Utes, though, is that taking into account the dividends? Because that, to me, I feel like you should be up with at least if you add in the dividends, I feel you should be up. But I don't know what where you bought Utes at. Emirate says, keep debating on Bank and 6C. Since Bank looks to be doing great, but 6C got the 2 dividend distributions. Yeah. And here's the thing, though. Keep in mind, Bank does have more diversification because you're also getting the 3 life cos as well as Power Corporation of Canada. So POW is in that ETF as well. 6C, you're just getting the banks. So that's just something to keep in mind. But you are getting, of course, semi-monthly dividends, or distributions. Let's see. Meant sell Utes, not ENCL. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. I'm not sure what's going on with Utes. Well, Utes, and this is one of these things I keep mentioning about Utes. Utes is not really designed for growth. It really isn't. It's designed to give you that. It's designed to give you income. It is full-on income. So you shouldn't get a lot of movement to the upside with Utes because, most of the growth that is within the companies that they're holding, it's all still going back into distributions. So let's pull Utes up here. Like, Utes should be pretty flat for the most part. I mean, you will have volatility in it. And, all right, I'm going to pull up, let's go with the 3-year here. All right, well, 3-year, let's go with the 1-year. The 1-year sort of demonstrates. You can see that you can pretty closely draw a fairly straight line through it. Now, today, you're looking at it, you're saying, okay, it's down. Well, yeah, it is. It is down today. There's a whole bunch of different factors. There was, well, heck, let's just go back over here for a second. And you can sort of see we had, there was like oil was down, and that does impact a lot of the companies that they hold as well. Sure, they have utilities, but there are some utility companies that are also impacted by oil. Take Enbridge. Enbridge has pipelines. That does tend to sometimes be impacted on the price of oil. So there is a lot of moving pieces in there, but they'll be fine. I'm not really concerned about it. Cowboy says the Libs will not support a pipeline that will increase the Alberta independence movement. Yeah, we need a pipe. We do need a pipeline. We need to sell our oil. That's what it boils down to. We do need to sell our oil. So here's the thing. And that's, just having an agreement with Danielle Smith to sort of you know, it doesn't actually, it's not even an actual commitment for a pipeline. It's just a we'll look into it with you kind of agreement. So I do want to see something more concrete. And I would love to get to a day where we're not hearing about Alberta separatism. I would love to not hear about it again, because that would mean, well, that would mean one, that would probably mean we have a pipeline. Two, it means that Alberta's at least happy to be part of Canada again, and that would be a good thing because I think Alberta's a pretty special part of Canada. So, all right. Northern Gal, wondering if 60 will dip at all in a week or so as it just launched. Thoughts? Um, normally, normally it will. Normally you'll get a lot of initial like in the product. It'll go up, it'll come back down. Now that's a normal trend. However, it is holding a sector right now that if that sector keeps going up, 60 won't give you that that retreatment. So it's going to be interesting. Like I think we'll see some volatility in it, but it's hard to say what's going to happen. It's really going to come down to what the banks do. All right, let's see. Instead of holding bonds, bond funds, what are your thoughts on holding low volatility Canadian ETF? Yeah, I'm kind of over bonds, to be honest. And I know we still have some people that my mic was pointing the other way. We still have some people who love bonds. Some of our, we got a few people in the channel who are big fans of bonds long term. Especially some of the bond ETFs. I'm not saying that they're done. I don't know. I've just never really liked them that much. I just think and I guess what it boils down to is I think there's a lot of different options. So something like a low volatility Canadian ETF. So if I was looking for stability, I would look at something like, let me show you something. I would personally look at something like this, mix. So this here is the Hamilton Enhanced Mixed Asset ETF. So, this one here, it, small, you get a small dividend or distribution, 1.551%, but it is new, and it's been growing, but it holds a lot of those really interesting things. Like it's got exposure to gold in it. I believe it even does have some bond exposure as well. I don't know if it'll actually tell us here. You know what? Let's just go to the page. Let's go to the page. Oh, there's FOMO again. All right. Hamilton Mix. And this will give us everything that it has. Here we go. All right. So yeah, so basically this here has U.S. stocks, about 60%, U.S. Treasury. So there's your bonds. You're getting access in there. There's that 20% and then 20% gold. So something like this, I think that to me scratches that need pretty good. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. And I do like it. And so far, it's performed really well. This is going to be one of these ones that I'm going to look at down the road. I can't wait till we've got a couple years history on it. But yeah, this is Mix. Mix is doing really well thus far. So that's something I would look at for sure. Brian, Utes will give you almost 18% dividends. Yeah, if you factor that 18% dividends in, you're probably not at a 6% loss. You're definitely probably up. But if you are getting out of Utes, hopefully we get a little bit of a move back to the upside so you can mitigate some of that downside on the price. All right. Sophia says, just to clarify, an in-kind transfer from TD non-registered account into Wealthsimple non-registered does not trigger capital gains. Correct. If you're going from as long as you're staying in the same account, right? So non-registered to non-registered, you're good. The only thing, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, is if you have any mutual funds in there that are TD specific and are not available on Wealthsimple, those ones would not, basically, they're not going to just sell them. The way it would work is they would transfer everything but, and then you would have to either sell it and move the money if you have any. Now, you may not. You may not. I know that I just recently helped somebody move from Royal Bank to Wealthsimple, and they did. They did have a couple of funds like that, and they had to sell them and then move the money. But the core, like about 90% of their stuff was all fine. All right. Bismarcky says, "Happy Tuesday, everyone." Claude, thanks. Didn't think it was likely, but wanted to be sure. All right. Yeah, and this is what I wanted to know about, because I didn't get a chance to read it. I pretty much got a chance to read the headline. So Pierre amended the motion to include more of MOU to include the carbon capture. Okay. Well, that was one of the key points. So did he put anything in about the Indigenous right holders? That's kind of, I think that was the other key point as well that the Liberals didn't like. Bad month for Utes. You know, September. December is one of those months where it can be a bad month for a lot of stocks in the first half. We'll see how the Santa Claus rally. We'll see how that looks at the end. Kelly. AI says Amazon has 1,700 to 2,000 employees in Quebec, expected to be laid off in January. Okay, yeah, that's actually a smaller number than I was expecting. I actually thought it was a little higher than that. So will it? Yeah, of course it's gonna impact some of our numbers, but you know, if we keep adding 54,000 or or in that ballpark each month, it kind of dwarfs the amount of jobs that are lost, especially if some of that 54,000 are these guys getting new jobs. Hopefully, I hate to see people, after January's kind of that rough month. I wouldn't want to lose. To be honest, I would rather lose my job in December than January, because January is pretty much just after you've spent all that extra money on the holidays and now you're ready to pay it off. And plus, who wants to be out pounding the pavement looking for a job in the coldest part of the year? Ian says, "I'm up on Utes after dividends." Okay, yeah, exactly. That's what we were thinking. Gursky says, "Hello, I think Utes are down because TELUS has tanked lately." Maybe, yeah. Yeah, that is interesting because Utes does have the telecommunications in there as well. So that's been another thing. Cowboy, bank is 9.45, 60, 26.20. Your divs would be more with bank. All right, there we go. Also, guys, keep in mind, we did look yesterday. 60, they are, their first dividends are coming out just before Christmas. So that's kind of cool. 60 pays 0.21 every 2 weeks. Well, almost every 2 weeks, almost. I think it's every 15 days, roughly. So slightly more than every 2 weeks. Let's see, Michael, a DLO looks good to keep climbing. That has all buys with average buy of 15 that are strong buy to 19. All right, yeah, and we looked at DLO, I think, last week. It does look pretty good. It does look pretty good for sure. Ian, I'm up on Utes after dividends. Thought I said that. I didn't see it, but, that's fine. Scott says, transfer from TD will probably require you to fill out a form for registered account transfer. Yeah, I don't know what paperwork will be involved, but that could be a possibility for sure. And it'll all be done online. Yes, Hi did. Amendment to the motion, recognize Indigenous consultation. Oh, yes, he did. Okay, good. Well, maybe we can... here's the thing. This is... If I was running the Liberal Party, all right, and whether I wanted... If I looked at this bill, and let's say I still didn't like it, but at the same time, to save face, I might I might say everyone sort of vote what you want on this one. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Now, here's the thing, though. These type of bills, it's rare for them to get through. Now, they do get through from time to time. Look at the whole dairy one that the Bloc Québécois got through. Um, that got into law, which is making it a little bit tough to negotiate because they're not allowed to use dairy as a negotiation tool. All right, Aurori, P1 something on a 100 invested. All right, let's see. Bank yield is 13.92%. 60 is 20.84%, so 60 pays more. Yeah, I mean, when you look at it for the full year, yeah, 60 will be paying out more in distributions for sure. But the big question will be, and this is, a year from now, a year from now, I will do a video on bank versus 60. I will, 100%. It'll be interesting to see, if bank's growth will be bigger than 60, could bank win total return? That will be a good question. I don't know. I don't know yet. It'll be interesting to see, but that will be a cool one. All right, guys, we're getting pretty darn close to the end here. If you got your last minute questions, get them on in. Get them on in. Keep the questions coming. If you got them, if you got them. If you don't, well, I'm going to have coffee either way. Oh, that's so good. Gosh. It makes me wonder why I don't have like a flavored coffee all year round, but that's fine. So we're back again tomorrow. So tomorrow's our normal Wednesday show. So we'll be back for that one. And then tomorrow we will open it up. So if you guys want a Thursday show, you will have that opportunity. Thursday, you'll have an opportunity for a Friday show. And then Friday for Monday. You know how it goes. It's a string. It's a string. It's going to be interesting, I think. Let's see here. Rory, have any free swing trades you like to share? Well, I will point out, channel members get to see the swing trades. They get to see them. I share that with the channel members. It's one of the benefits of being a channel member. But I do throw the occasional one out. And I did mention that I was playing Tesla today because it looked like Tesla was going to go up. I didn't make as much as I wanted to because it hit my stop loss. So, what can you do? What can you do? I also will say that I do have a new Air Canada swing trade going outside of the challenge, because I have one in the challenge, but I do have one outside of the challenge as well. So that's a new one that I opened up today, and we'll see. That one doesn't. The one in the challenge is it's sitting there, and I'm just going to buy every time it's under $19 each month. I will buy some Air Canada, and that one will. I will sell that one when it hits $21. So that one's I'm not touching it until it gets there. It's a long-term trade. I'm perfectly fine with that. In the swing trade account, I'll sell that. I'll sell that I'll sell that way before then for sure. Once it's in my profit range that I'm happy, I'll throw in a stop loss and see what I can get out of it for sure. Let's see. Was AOUT earnings okay? Do not know. Let's find out. Let's find out here. All right. AOUT. Let's see here. American Outdoor Brands. All right. Well, we'll add them up here and take a gander here. The answer is yes. So yeah, they actually did pretty good, Michael. Earnings-wise, they beat expectations by 48.72%. Revenue, they beat by 12.33%. So not too shabby. And keep in mind, this here looks like this happened after hours. So this here they'll probably have a good jump, I think, in the morning, because those are good numbers for sure. All right, now let's take a look here. Kelly. If I want to move a joint account to Wealthsimple and both owners have single Wealthsimple accounts, do we have to open another account with both names? Seems complicated. Um, Honestly, Kelly, I do not know. I've never really dabbled in this. What I would do though is, especially if you already have single Wealthsimple accounts, or even if you don't have it, if you haven't even moved to Wealthsimple yet, they have a good customer service. You can talk to them usually. Some people call them. Some people. I like chat personally. I would talk to Wealthsimple and see how that looks. But that is interesting, huh? And you know what? Let me just take a look. I kind of want to know now, so I'm just gonna. There we go. I just took a screenshot. I took a screenshot of this because I want to look into that. So I don't know, but it seems to me, why would they want it to be that complicated? I can't see it being that complicated. So I would definitely check with them and see. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to try one thing here to see if I can get a quick answer. Let's see here. And all right. Now, Northern Gal seems to have something here. Let's just quickly see what Northern Gal is saying. That sounds like a deemed disposition. My husband and I did that, and it was. There might be tax implications splitting a shared account. Well, wait a minute. Are you splitting a shared account? And both owners have single accounts. Oh, okay. Or that's interesting. All right. Oh, all right. Well, I just quickly pulled up some information, and what I got here, and I don't know if this is relevant or not, but if you want to transfer a joint account to Wealthsimple, you would need to basically open first a joint Wealthsimple account, and then you could transfer like for like if it's going from from a joint account to a joint account. So I don't know. I'm just trying to understand. I'm not 100% sure if you want it to be joint at Wealthsimple or if you want to split it when you get there. If you want to split it, then I think that's going to be a lot more complicated. But if you do want it to be a joint account, you can open a joint account there, and then you could transfer joint to joint. That hopefully that's the answer that you're looking for. That's what I think you're asking, but hopefully. All right. Michael says CBRL must be bad being down that they don't pay dividends. Well, it depends on why they're not paying dividends. And Brian says AOU is up 6.94 today and 5.98 after hours. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they're having good earnings for sure. All right, and let's see. And Kelly says no, just moving the shared. So yeah, so I would double check with them. But I quickly asked AI to take a look at it, so take that with a grain of salt. But AI pulled up the Wealthsimple information and said that if it was shared to shared, you should be good. But double check with them for sure, because I would like to have had the time to be able to do a bit more research, but I wanted to get you something fast, and that could be interesting. All right, let me know, Kelly. Let me know tomorrow if you reach out to them today. Let me know tomorrow the exact procedure that they mentioned. I'm very curious to see what they have to say, and I'm gonna dig in a bit more because I'm curious. I'm very curious for sure. All right, guys. Holy banana bread. This is another fantastic show. Like I said, we'll be back here again tomorrow. We'll do this all over again. Let's see what the market has in store for us. Will we have another green day? Is my room going to be bathed in green again? We'll find out. Until then, everybody, enjoy your evening. If you're in the east, if you're in the Ottawa area, get ready for snow. Get ready for snow. And we will, what? Just a second here. What is this? Can we do an e-transfer to join the channel? I don't think so. No, I mean, yeah, it has to be done through the YouTube thing. Because even like, even if you wanted to join the channel and you went and e-transferred me the $2.99, I have no way to give you a channel membership that way. So yeah, I just wanted to answer that. I didn't want to leave you hanging on that one. So yeah, you pretty much, the only way to join the channel membership is through the YouTube, through YouTube. They control that 100%. I can't even gift a membership to anybody I want. If I gift a membership, it's 100% random, so no control whatsoever. All right, anyway, you see? The power of the QQQ, it pulls me out of my clothes. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. We'll be back. Until then, enjoy your evenings. Bye-bye.